is it?
Did I waken you?
You frightened the wits out of me.
I didn't want to knock in case you were asleep.
I heard a shot.
A farmer's child is lost on the moor. They're searching for her. She might have wandered into Charnley Mire.
Charnley Mire?
That would be the end of her. They'd never even find her body.
Poor little thing.
There's something I'd like to say to you. I suppose it is rather rude of me to come in at this hour. But I've got to know.
Does Michael know you came to talk to me?
So you call him Michael?
Well, doesn't everybody?
Michael and I are to be married very soon. Nothing is to stand in the way of that. Do I make myself clear?
Oh, quite clear. You have my best wishes for a long and happy life.
You have a queer way of saying it.
Queer? I mean every word of it.
How long were you in the chorus at the Cambridge?
While I was there, it was like forever.
I suppose you knew Daisy Arrow.
We worked side by side. We were good friends.
Must have been dreadful for you.
It was worse for Daisy. She loved living.
I read about it in the papers. Why should anyone have wanted to murder her?
I asked myself the same question 1,000 times. Is that what you wanted to talk to me about?
No. Michael and I
know. You're very much in love. Anybody can tell that.
Yes. What I mean is, you and I can be friends. Or not.
I want to be friends.
You do? Truly?
Of course.
Good. That's what I had to know. I'm sorry if I disturbed you. I'll see you in the morning.
Good night.
Good night.
As I look back now, it seems those days were the happiest of my life. And when Audrey went up to London to get her trousseau, Lady Margaret couldn't have been more kind had I been her own daughter. But the greatest change of all was in Michael. The moment Audrey left for London, it was as if some strange veil had been lifted, and he was completely another man. He taught me to ride. And Lady Margaret insisted that I wear one of Audrey's riding habits. Whenever I made little mistakes, or my manners were not what they should have been, Michael corrected me, but always gently and patiently. And never once did he mention London or the circumstances which had brought us together.
You're not disappointed?
Disappointed?
Those dreams you told me about the night on Waterloo Bridge, is all this as wonderful as you thought it would be?
More wonderful. Every minute's like something magic in a Christmas panto. Lady Margaret's been so kind. And you've been so decent. But I'm afraid I'll never understand you. You're not like you were in London. You're a different person altogether. I suppose there are things about this world of yours that I'd never understand, even if I stayed here for years.
For example?
Well, Audrey. She's in love with you. Anybody can see that. And almost anybody can see that you don't love her. Why are you marrying her? How can you marry someone you don't love?
Sometimes marriages are arranged. Sometimes it's essential that they be. My mother's marriage was arranged.
But your mother wasn't happy. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. I'm always putting my foot in it.
It doesn't matter. You're not afraid of me, are you?
Should I be?
After all, our relationship is somewhat unusual. I'm in trouble, you know that. We'd best be going. We shan't be in time to meet Audrey. She'll be on the 4 o'clock train.
Here it is. I don't see it in the window. They say it's all the rage in London.
We better be getting back. Lady Margaret said not to be late.
Oh, I won't be a moment. Good afternoon.
Miss Ashton.
Have you that new novel of Mrs. Humphrey Ward's?
2 copies came in yesterday, but they were sold immediately. It must be a saucy book. I'm expecting some more in a few days.
Well, will you keep one for me?
I will indeed, Miss Ashton.
Thank you. I'll have this.
Certainly. Strange, I had the occasion to mention your name today, Miss Ashton.
Did you?
You recall those 3 Bibles you bought?
Yes.
I just mentioned the fact to a couple of gentlemen from London who were making a survey on the sale of religious books.
You told them I had bought 3 Bibles.
I did, yes. I told them it was a healthy sign in a world of sin when one person buys 3 Bibles at one time.
Will you send that for me?
I will, Miss Ashton.
Come, Rose. You won't forget about the other book.
I'll put it aside for you, Miss Ashton. Good day.
I beg your pardon, sir. There's an Inspector Clinner from Scotland Yard to see you, sir. Clinner? Yes, sir, and there's another man with him.
Show them in, Craxton.
Yes, my lady. Will you step this way, gentlemen?
I think it'll be amusing to have tea with a couple of detectives.
Good afternoon, Mr. Drago.
Inspector. Sergeant.
Mr. Drago?
Mother, this is Inspector Clinner and Sergeant Evans.
You're just in time for tea, gentlemen. Or would you like something stronger?
Neither, ma'am, thank you. I'm sorry to bother you like this, Mr. Drago, but it couldn't be avoided. We came to see you about your fiancée, Miss Ashton.
Miss Ashton?
What on earth could you want with her?
Well, it's nothing of any consequence, I'm sure. We were just checking up on some loose ends in the Daisy Arrow case, and I thought you'd prefer us to discuss it with you instead of bothering the young lady. I don't know whether you recall, Mr. Drago, but a Bible was rather an important item in the Daisy Arrow case.
Yes, but what does that to do with Miss Ashton?
Well, I'll be brief as possible. This Bible, it seems, was published in rather a large edition. But in looking over the sales lists, I found that your local bookseller here in the village had purchased a dozen copies. Insomuch as you had been questioned in the case, we were naturally curious as to the disposition of those particular Bibles.
I still don't see the connection with Miss Ashton.
Miss Ashton bought 3 copies.
Oh, I remember now. It was about the time Audrey came to stay with us. You see, she distributes a great many flowers at the hospitals, and occasionally some poor invalid asks for a Bible.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes, that's precisely what I imagined. Speaking of flowers, I wonder if your ladyship...
Do you know if Miss Ashton gave away all 3 copies of those Bibles?
I can't be sure.
I'm sorry we're so late.